A former public information officer is suing the city of El Cajon, claiming wrongful termination. It's our top story tonight at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Stephanie Simmons in tonight for Marcella. As CBS 8's David Godfredson reports, this all started after the employee captured ring camera video of an SDG&E meter reader in his backyard.
I was sitting at my desk at the city and an alert had popped up, and I immediately looked and there was someone I didn't know wandering through the backyard.
The video, recorded in April 2024 at Chris Berg's home on Terra Lane in El Cajon, shows a black man walking through the backyard.
Nobody was scheduled to come here. The meter's on the other side of the house, so where he was wandering around on the camera didn't make any sense for it to be a meter reader.
Berg posted the video on Facebook asking if anybody recognized the man.
It was just an alert to the neighbors, an attempt to identify, and so I put that out.
Berg says a police captain emailed him the next day asking for the video so it could be posted on the El Cajon Police Department's Instagram page. At the time, Berg was working as a public information officer for the city.
To me, it was something that the El Cajon Police Department wouldn't generally do because I'm not within the city limits of El Cajon.
Shortly after the video went live, SDG&E called, identifying the man as one of their meter readers. The police department quickly took down the video, but it was too late. The SDG&E worker hired a lawyer and filed a claim alleging racial bias by the city.
There was a publication on a city council agenda for a closed session talking about anticipated litigation. And the way it was written, it said that I was the one who made the post on the police department page, which was not at all true. I didn't even have access to that page.
The worker settled his claim with the city and SDG&E for $400,000, according to court records. But to Berg, it seemed like the city was blaming him.
There was no doubt that this was going to be pinned on me because the police department was already under scrutiny with all the racial protests that were going on from January.
On June 25th, the city of El Cajon terminated Berg, alleging unrelated wrongdoing that Berg denies, leading Berg to file a wrongful termination lawsuit earlier this week.
It's very frustrating to see that City Hall management can just make up a narrative and feel powerful enough to protect who they want to protect and shift the blame to someone else.
The city of El Cajon did not respond to a request for comment, but that police captain who allegedly emailed Berg asking for that video so it could be posted on the police Instagram page, that police captain is now the chief of police. In El Cajon, David Godfredson, CBS 8.
A Bible school teacher accused of years of child sex abuse pleaded not guilty, and the stunning allegations involve a young family member.
CBS 8's Abby Black joins us live from El Cajon, where the courtroom was packed with his supporters. Abby.
Carlo and Stephanie, the defense attorneys did not argue for bail, which is unusual. So after court, I asked them why. They tell me strategy. So I reached out to a criminal trial attorney to explain why they would do something like this. And she says you only get one shot at bail review, and with limited evidence, they may want to wait. Meanwhile, Conover remains in jail, and he had a crowd of supporters in court today.
At this time, we enter a plea of not guilty.
49-year-old Kevin Conover, a Bible teacher at Christian Unified School District in unincorporated El Cajon, stood behind a holding cell during his arraignment, answering only yes or no. The judge ordered us to stylize his face. According to a criminal complaint, Conover is charged with 14 felonies involving sex crimes with a child family member, a girl who was just 7 years old when the alleged abuse started in 2015 and lasted until 2019.
At this time, we are only dealing with one victim. You ask a great question, though. If there are other victims out there, I do ask that you come forward and contact the Sheriff's Department Child Abuse Unit.
Conover pled not guilty. The judge ordered no bail, citing violence.
The word violence has special meaning, and under the law, violence in this context is constituted as that sexual abuse.
Conover ran for Grossmont Union High School Board in 2016 and lost.
You can subscribe to my curriculum for as long or as short as you want.
On his Instagram, he talks about how he runs the Educate for Life website, selling Christian homeschool curriculum and hosting a podcast. His bio says that he's married with 3 kids. He says he's been with the school over a decade, once a vice principal, now chair of the Bible department. In a statement, the school superintendent said law enforcement confirmed the charges don't involve school students, but Conover has been suspended.
With crimes like this, it's always really difficult to wrap your head around the fact that this could be your neighbor, this could be your pastor, this could be your teacher. There's no one way that a person who violates the trust of a child looks.
Conover remains in jail with a criminal protective order for the victim. Now, like I said, there was a crowd of supporters today, not one empty seat. I reached out to many of them to see if they had any comments about the Bible teacher and these charges, but they declined. New on CBS 8 News at 7, hear what the deputy district attorney says about the supporters and why they may be shocked after more evidence comes out.
So, Abby, what happens next in this case?
Well, the Bible teacher, Kevin Conover, is scheduled to be back in court on January 9th, and that is a readiness hearing, which will prepare them and see if they are ready for a preliminary hearing. And that's where we could actually hear more evidence and also if the defense will challenge that no bail. Meanwhile, he remains behind bars during the holidays.
All right, we'll see
Reporting
you back
live
here.
in El Cajon, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Yeah, we'll see you back here more at 7. Some renters in National City are rallying for change, saying enough is enough.
From rent hikes to what they call poor living conditions, people who live at the Summercrest apartment complex say they are being treated unfairly. CBS 8's Shannon Handy is working for you tonight and sharing their demands and how city leaders are responding.
This morning, we heard from tenants who listed off a number of complaints. Among them has to do with the historic flooding that happened last year. This complex and its tenants were impacted. We heard from one woman who had to move out for 7 months. And when she moved back, she says she couldn't believe what she came home to.
And when we finally came back home, we come back to the same stove and the refrigerator that sat in contaminated floodwaters. Corporate landlords, you can't hide. We can see your greedy side.
Tenants held a rally with members of the Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, a grassroots organization that fights for tenant rights. They marched through the complex here. In addition to flood issues, they say they've had to deal with exorbitant rent hikes and claim management enters into units without permission. This is video of that allegedly happening. In it, you can see a maintenance worker walk in. Some say they were unfairly overcharged for normal wear and tear in their units, and other tenants say remodeling on their units were routinely left unfinished for months. They're not only asking the management company for change, but they're also calling on the National City Council to adopt an ordinance to protect tenants all over National City. I spoke with National City's mayor. He says he's open to a citywide ordinance and has even talked with ACE who organized today's rally, but says they're making demands as opposed to having productive conversations, and they're using residents instead of helping them.
Outside group coming in wanting to do a power grab and using especially our seniors or people that are in need here, and they say I don't look out for the community. I look out against that. You know, I do not want our people here being used by outside groups, and that's basically what we have here.
The mayor says ACE wants tenants to unionize and for them to be their representative. Meanwhile, I did reach out to the management company, but I have not heard back. Reporting from National City, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
Thank you, Shannon. Remember, if there's something you would like us to look into, you can email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com.
Tonight, a holiday health warning for you as the Norovirus, a highly contagious stomach bug, is spreading across the country, and that includes right here in San Diego. Tonight, CBS 8's Jenny Day went to check on the countywide numbers and has some tips on how you can stay healthy.
If you are sick, like many others, I certainly hope you can knock it out of your system quickly with Christmas now just 1 week out. But yes, local emergency rooms like Sharp Memorial here are seeing a spike in patients with norovirus symptoms.
We're seeing plenty of diarrheal illness, nausea, vomiting, that sort of thing in the ER right now. A lot more than we typically see, but sounds like it might even increase.
Dr. Andrew Eads works in the emergency department, so is seeing firsthand cases of norovirus surging. It's more commonly known as the stomach flu, a most unwelcome gift this holiday season.
It's a really tough, robust virus. I mean, it can live and remain contagious or infectious on a surface for days or even weeks in some cases. It takes really high heat to kill it. Could end up in the food that you're served at a restaurant. It's on surfaces that you might touch.
That's why our doctor says clean surfaces and things like light switches regularly. Stay home if you're sick to avoid spreading more than holiday cheer this year, and simply wash your hands to decrease your risk.
Hand sanitizer is good, but probably doesn't really kill norovirus depending on which one you're using. So really it's 20 to 30 seconds, hot soapy water, scrubbing really well.
We most often hear about the norovirus spreading at sea and tight quarter cruise ships, but this bug can also make you sick on land. County Health tells me there have already been 2,000 confirmed cases this fiscal year, but the reality is much higher because not everyone goes in.
Of the 20 patients I might see in the ER, 2 or 3 are probably with these kind of symptoms. We can do a lot for it. We can put in an IV, we can give you fluids.
With diarrhea and nausea being the main symptoms, dehydration is often the biggest risk.
If you're having trouble staying hydrated at all, like you can't even sip liquids without vomiting, that's a good time to come into the ER, particularly if it's lasting longer than 2 or 3 days.
And the CDC adding tonight that children, older adults, and those who are immunocompromised remain the most at risk for severe illness. Thankfully, though, the flu and RSV cases remain low here locally, but doctors do say that it is early. Cheers to good health. Reporting for CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day.